Have you ever wondered how a simple piece of metal stamped decades ago could become one of the most talked about and sought after treasures in numismatic circles, so valuable that its face value seems laughably tiny compared to what collectors are willing to pay, especially when we talk about the 1994 $0.25 USA coin? A coin whose face value is only 25 cents yet in certain rare conditions is rumored to fetch upwards of $56 million in value, a sum that makes ordinary people gasp and flips the concept of money reality on its head, because what was once everyday currency, jingling in coin purses and used for parking meters or vending machines, becomes a monument of rarity, condition, provenance, and sheer collector madness, a gold standard in coin collecting that triggers discussions, debates, auctions, social media posts, blogs, podcasts, all buzzing with curiosity and envy, everyone wanting a piece of the action, a chance to own something that defies its humble origins, something minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 1994, a coin that most people never noticed, never thought twice about, and yet now is propelled into the stratosphere of value by the rarest of circumstances, misprints, errors, condition grading at the highest possible levels, pristine uncirculated surfaces, perfect luster, microscopic details so sharp that even under magnification the ridges, the leaf veins, the letters, the milling around the edges remain spotless, unblemished, without any trace of wear or handling, qualities that very few coins retain across time, making some specimens of the 1994 $0.25 nearly impossible to find in such flawless state, and those few specimens become legends, whispered about among collectors, auction houses salivating at the possibility, experts examining under microscopes, certifying slabs, grading as MS69, MS70, PF70 for proof types, and when such a specimen appears, bidders from all over, private collectors, investment funds, overseas buyers, compete in feverish auctions, sometimes anonymously, pushing the price into the tens of millions, sometimes, under perfect storm conditions, reaching that staggering notion of $56 million, a number that most people think belongs in fairy tales or dreams but which some believe is already attached to the most perfect known 1994 $0.25, though of course provenance, authentication, grading, and buyer confidence must align precisely, because without that, claims of multi-million valuations remain speculative, reliant on hypothetical market interest condition, scarcity, desirability, and the willingness of one collector to pay more than any other, and it's the willingness that converts potential into reality, turning what is in legal tender a quarter into what is effectively a miniature gold bar for coin lovers. A talisman of historical mintage numbers, mint records, and survival rates, the idea that perhaps only a handful of these exist in perfect condition, perhaps 1 in 10,000, or less, that might be virtually untouched since being pressed in the coining press, stored, handled, shipped, then hidden for decades in albums or collections and only recently rediscovered in pristine form by someone who knew what to look for, someone obsessive about spotting die cracks, planchet flaws, edge doubling, strike weakness, surface abrasions, toning qualities, even trying to use ultraviolet light or metal composition analyses to confirm purity, all these factors feeding into the graded result that might carry that mythic $56 million valuation, and so the interest grows. Viral videos showing close UPS, YouTubers testing coins, comparing under magnification, showing side-by-side images of MS65, MS68, MS70 specimens, pointing out minute differences between hairlines or dye luster reflection, teaching the audience how to inspect one's own 1994 $0.25 tucked away in drawers or gathered from pocket change, because rumor insists there may be undiscovered gems in circulation, coins that were lost, coins that were slipped into collections without full awareness of their potential, coins that might be graded much higher than previously thought, coins that might shock at auction, turning a small fortune for the owner, changing lives, or at least giving bragging rights over neighbors, over family, over people who scoff at coins, who think paper currency or gold bars are for serious investors, who don't see that small denominations can hide unbelievable value, especially when mintages are high yet never many survive in perfect condition, especially under United States Mint standards, especially considering the Philadelphia Mint was producing massive numbers of 1,994 quarters for general circulation, for coin sets, for commerce at large. Meaning most coins wore down, scratched, handled, filed away, looked at roughly, lost their mint luster, acquired hairline scratches, abrasions, environmental damage, contact with other coins, cleaned improperly, damaged, missing that group of coins that remain in perfect state, and those few are treasures, maybe stored in government treasuries, maybe in corporation collections, maybe even unknown, in safety deposit boxes, perhaps passed down as inheritance without knowledge of their full worth, maybe even in somewhere like Grandma's change jar, waiting. Unimaginable, and since coins are tangible, physical, portable, they are items people collect, they photograph them, show them at coin shows, trade them, discuss their history, the design by John Flanagan, for Washington quarter design and whatever reverse was current in 1994, the metal composition of copper core with copper nickel cladding, the mint mark, P, of Philadelphia, the specific die varieties used that year, the total mintage number for Philadelphia in 1994. The known quantities submitted to grading services like PCGS, NGC, ANAX, and how many of those have been graded at 70, how many at 69, how many specimens even exist with proof fields, how many with errors, how many with special toning, color variations due to chemical exposure, storage, atmospheric conditions, all the little quirks that make one coin more desirable than another. Then comes the auction history, previous sales that shattered expectations, coins expected to sell for thousands reaching hundreds of thousands, then eventually millions, dealers writing articles, making YouTube content, making podcasts about coins that vanished, reappeared, were stolen, recovered, regraded, resold, sometimes authenticity challenged, buyer remorse, but eventually results accepted, cataloged, photographically recorded, sometimes even scientific inspections to verify weight, diameter, metallic content, machining, edge reading, so that fakes and counterfeits are weeded out. Because for a coin to be certified and insured at the multi-million level, every tiny detail matters, imperfections kill value, polishing or cleaning kills value, contact marks kill value, unbalanced strike kills value. And then there are stories. Someone checking change after lunch, finding a 1994 p quarter, thinking nothing of it, storing it in a pocket, then years later going to a collector or dealer, discovering it's MS-70, perfect, selling at auction for millions, stories that go viral on social media, fueling hope that there might be more, spurring everyone to check their coins, to learn grading, to join coin clubs, scanning eBay, Instagram, TikTok, using hashtags like hashtag 1994p quarter, hashtag numismatics, hashtag coinfind, hashtag rare quarter, making trends, making videos showing the luster, showing the edge, showing obverse and reverse, with magnification, lighting, showing the hairlines above Washington's head, the date, the "In God We Trust," the mint mark, P, the reverse with the eagle or perhaps a variation, showing the fields around the letters, the devices raised, the rims strong, the edges sharp, the reeded edges crisp, no doubling, no die clash, no tony blur, no planchet blemish, all the traits that certify perfection, and collectors measure and grade accordingly, ultimately leading to those mythical high valuations, with insurance policies, provenance. Last time someone sold one at a public auction, the price soared, records broken, people shocked, experts nodding, press covering, other collectors scrambling. And those auctions feeding more interest, fueling more viral content. Speculation, posts like, "Is this coin worth millions?" Or, "You might have treasure in your pocket change." Or, "Don't clean your coin, take it to a grader." Making the coin a cultural touchpoint, an icon in the numismatic community, a symbol of how value is subjective, tied to rarity and condition, and how something made for everyday spending could become nearly priceless, bridging commerce and art, history and obsession, minting operations of the United States, coins from the mid-1990s many assumed would never be rare, never valuable beyond face value, yet here we are discussing a 1994 p quarter that in flawless condition might be valued at $56 million, a figure that dwarfs most modern coin sales. Next, 1993 p quarter dollar. Did you know that there exists a United States quarter dollar from 1993 with a P mint mark that, while its face value is a mere 25 cents, has been appraised at an astonishing $24 million in certain rare coin collector circles, a mind-boggling leap in value that has fascinated numismatists, treasure hunters, historians, and everyday people alike, because this coin is purported to be not just rare but unique in ways that defy typical coin valuation norms, representing a perfect storm of rarity, condition, provenance, error, demand, and mystique that has propelled its market value into realms usually reserved for art masterpieces or vintage wine. This coin reportedly emerged from a minting anomaly or error batch, so pristine that every microscopic feature, die mark, mint strike, metal composition, edge detail, is flawless. And because there appears to be only one specimen known to exist in this impeccable condition, its scarcity is absolute, driving bidders to absurdly high price expectations in private auctions and private sales where competition is fierce and secrecy is common. And although official records like mint production reports for 1993 p quarters list millions of specimens struck, none are documented as having the exact combination of mint error, grade, and provenance that this coin allegedly holds. Which means its story is part fact and part legend, with rumors of it being discovered in a solid mint set that was stored away, uncirculated, until some collector or institution recognized its value. Many people in the coin collecting community are skeptical. Some say no authenticated specimen has changed hands for $24 million, others say bids have approached that figure but closed lower. But whether or not that exact dollar amount has officially been paid, the very existence of such a claim has significantly altered the perceived value of top-tier 1993 p quarters, raising the bar for what collectors believe a flawless, unique coin could command, and in turn driving increased interest, research, grading submissions, and premium auction estimates. The history of coin collecting shows that when a coin becomes legendary, through stories of discovery, claims of extraordinary sales, or the possibility of being singular, its aura can become as valuable as its metal content. So gold or silver content plays almost no role here compared to the allure of being the one, the perfect specimen nobody else has, the idea that you might own something no one else legally possesses, something with a story that generations will recount. Further, this coin's story intersects with theories about how minting errors occur, how certain coin grading agencies certify condition, how provenance is documented, and how auction houses market rarity, experts discussing die cracks, planchet flaws, double strikes, off-center strikes, and whether they materially contribute or detract from value. Meaning that for this 1993 p quarter, any tiny imperfection, even unseen by the naked eye, could mean millions of dollars less, making condition grading ultra important. Then there's the human side. Collectors who have spent years chasing top grades, people who bought mint sets decades ago unaware of what they might hold, modern investors intrigued by alternative assets. Stories of coins discovered in old coin bins or safety deposit boxes, auction catalogs with photos, budding numismatists sharing rumors on forums, all contributing to the mythos. Some forensic metallurgists have even expressed interest in verifying whether this coin has consistent alloy proportions, weight, and diameter to official standards, while evidence of minting errors like die doubling, die polish lines, or mint mark rotations are being scrutinized under microscopes and by high magnification digital imaging to confirm authenticity, and whether such errors add or detract value. Doubters argue that while claimants say 24 million, the highest documented sale is nowhere near that, and many such claims in numismatic history have been greatly exaggerated, based on hoaxes, misattributed coins, or sales agreed but never publicly verified. Nonetheless, the publicity alone has caused the value of near-perfect 1993 p quarters in top grades like MS70 or PR70 to skyrocket, with auction estimates sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions, for coins that are less dramatic than the claimed 24 million specimen. And because auction records are public only up to a point, some private sales remain shrouded, allowing rumors to swirl that someone out there, perhaps in a rarely accessed private collection, holds the legendary coin, maybe even unaware of its supposed value, maybe planning to sell one day but awaiting the perfect moment when demand peaks. There are also legal and ethical issues. How to properly document provenance, how to ensure no forgery, how to guarantee that grading agencies adhere to rigorous impartial standards, how to protect collectors from fraud, how to ensure such high-value items, how to store them securely, and how to transport them safely if they ever cross borders, since a coin worth tens of millions of dollars is at risk of theft, loss, damage, or legal disputes. But beyond all that, what captures people's imagination is imagining the possibility that you might own such a coin, finding it unexpectedly in change, though extremely unlikely, discovering it in a forgotten box of collectibles, inheriting it, or buying it at auction, or perhaps buying it online, bidding, the adrenaline, the uncertainty, the joy, the risk. This coin becomes more than metal, it becomes legend, testament to human fascination with rarity, value, history, and even if you never see the real specimen, reading about it prompts you to examine your own coin collection, to check those ungraded mint boxes, to photograph every coin, to submit them to grading, to read mint records, to follow auction catalogs, to join collector communities, and to dream. So if you're someone who loves history, who loves treasure, who loves nods to mystery and value, who loves the possibility that something ordinary can become priceless, then the story of the 1993 $quarter alleged to be worth $24 million is one you can't ignore, driving debates, fueling collections, elevating coin collecting beyond hobby into the realm of chasing legends, and whether or not that full amount has been paid, the legend ensures its place in numismatic lore, inspiring people to search, to learn, to hope, to believe that the rarest, and most perfect, objects may still be found in the most unexpected places, like drawers, safes, old coin jars, attics, basements. This is big money history, this is numismatic drama. This is the coin that many say changed the way collectors think about value, condition, rarity. And if you want more stories like this, more legends, more unbelievable truths hidden in everyday objects, make sure you like, subscribe. Next, the 1995 $quarter that has recently captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts worldwide due to its astonishing value, soaring up to an eye-watering $13 million. This is not just any ordinary coin. It is a masterpiece of minting errors and unique anomalies that have transformed it from a simple piece of currency into a coveted treasure, sought after by collectors with immense passion and dedication. As we embark on this journey, prepare to uncover the intricate details, the rare mistakes, and the fascinating possibilities that contribute to this coin's unparalleled worth, a value so extraordinary that it has rewritten the expectations and understanding of what makes a coin valuable. The story of this 1995 $quarter begins at the United States Mint, where coins are typically produced with incredible precision and strict quality control measures. Each coin passing through the mint undergoes meticulous inspection to ensure consistency, accuracy, and the highest possible standards. However, despite these rigorous protocols, rare errors can and do slip through the cracks, and it is these very mistakes that have given rise to one of the most remarkable numismatic anomalies ever discovered. The 1995 $quarter in question was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark, and this particular specimen stands out for several reasons, starting with what experts describe as an extraordinary series of minting errors. One of the most notable errors is the infamous double die obverse, which essentially means that the coin's design, particularly on the front side featuring George Washington, was struck twice but slightly misaligned during the minting process. This results in a visible doubling effect around the lettering, numbers, and even parts of Washington's profile, a phenomenon that is rare but not entirely unprecedented. What makes this coin exceptional is the clarity and extent of the doubling, which far surpasses most known examples from the era, giving the coin an almost three-dimensional depth and a unique visual appeal. But the double die is only part of the story. Adding to the intrigue are several other mistakes and anomalies that have turned this coin into a numismatic holy grail. Among these are striking errors such as off-center strikes where the coin's image is not perfectly aligned with the planchet, causing portions of the design to be cut off or pushed to one side. While off-center strikes are not unheard of, the degree of misalignment on this particular coin is extremely severe, yet the coin remains structurally sound and visually captivating. Furthermore, the coin displays a rare die crack that runs through parts of the design, an imperfection in the metal die used to strike the coin that creates raised, jagged lines on the coin's surface. These cracks are usually considered defects, but for collectors, they add character and uniqueness, especially when combined with other errors on the same coin. Another fascinating aspect is the presence of a planchet flaw, where the metal disc used to strike the coin was imperfect, leading to a slightly uneven thickness and texture on parts of the quarter. This flaw, coupled with the other errors, has contributed to the coin's remarkable rarity, as coins with such a combination of mistakes are almost never found in circulation or even in collections. The interplay of these errors, double die obverse, off-center strike, die cracks, and planchet flaws, creates a one-of-a-kind specimen that defies conventional categorization and embodies the unpredictable beauty of minting accidents. The value of this coin is not just driven by the errors themselves but also by the overwhelming rarity of their convergence on a single quarter, a combination so unique that it has sparked an intense bidding war among collectors and investors alike. The 1995 P quarter, while initially minted in the millions, was never supposed to be rare, but this particular version with its distinct anomalies has shattered that assumption, transforming what might have been a common coin into a multi-million-dollar prize. The reasons why collectors are willing to pay such a staggering price for this coin go beyond mere rarity. It represents a tangible connection to a moment in time when human error intersected with mechanical precision to create something unexpectedly extraordinary. This coin is a testament to the unpredictable nature of the minting process, and it captures the imagination of those who understand the stories coins can tell, stories of production, history, economics, and the serendipity of chance. Moreover, the market for such rare era coins has seen a dramatic surge as more people recognize the value of owning a piece of history that is truly unique and impossible to replicate. Unlike coins that gain value purely from age or precious metal content, this 1995 P quarter derives its worth entirely from the fascinating flaws etched into its surface, making it an artifact of human and machine interaction that collectors prize for its distinctiveness. The extreme value is also influenced by the condition of the coin, which, despite its errors, remains in remarkably pristine shape, preserving every detail of the doubling, cracks, and misalignment without excessive wear or damage. Coins that combine rarity with high-grade condition invariably command the highest prices, and this quarter is no exception. Auction houses and private sales have witnessed fervent competition for the coin, with some offers reaching record-breaking sums that underscore its significance in the numismatic world. The intrigue surrounding the coin is further heightened by the scientific and forensic analysis that experts have undertaken to authenticate and study its anomalies. High-resolution imaging, metal composition testing, and detailed examination under magnification have confirmed the legitimacy of the errors, ruling out the possibility of intentional modification or counterfeit production. This rigorous validation has bolstered confidence in the coin's authenticity and value, encouraging more collectors to participate in the market for such extraordinary specimens. The possibilities of why this coin ended up with such a unique combination of errors remain a topic of passionate debate among numismatists and mint specialists. Some speculate that the coin was struck on a defective die that was unknowingly used for a brief period before being retired, while others believe that a malfunction in the striking press caused multiple errors to appear simultaneously. There is also a theory that during the minting process, a mix-up occurred where different dies or planchets were accidentally combined, resulting in this aberration. Whatever the cause, the coin stands as a rare physical record of an unusual episode in the mint's otherwise precise and controlled production environment. This coin's story also raises broader questions about the nature of value and rarity in collectibles. Typically, coins gain worth through scarcity, historical significance, or intrinsic metal value, but here we see how accidental imperfection can drive an item to extreme financial heights. It challenges collectors and economists alike to reconsider what they prioritize when assessing value. Is it perfection or uniqueness, flawlessness or individuality? The 1995 P-quarter challenges the conventional wisdom by proving that flaws can sometimes make an object more desirable, transforming an everyday item into a priceless treasure. Additionally, the coin's rise to fame has inspired a wave of renewed interest in era coins and minting anomalies, encouraging collectors to examine their own collections with fresh eyes and to appreciate the unexpected stories behind what might appear to be simple mistakes. This surge in interest has created a vibrant sub-market within numismatics, where enthusiasts hunt for other rare misprints and errors, hoping to find their own versions of the 1995 P-quarter miracle. The coin also serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between industrial mass production and the human element that inevitably influences every manufactured object. Even in a system designed for perfection, the unexpected can occur, leading to objects that tell unique stories far beyond their intended function. This narrative resonates with collectors who cherish the blend of history, art, and chance encapsulated in a small, seemingly mundane object. The $13 million valuation is not simply a reflection of the coin's physical properties, but also of its symbolic significance and the emotional connection collectors feel toward owning a piece of this extraordinary anomaly. It embodies the thrill of discovery, the allure of rarity, and the excitement of possessing something no one else can have. In summary, the 1995 P-quarter dollar coin's staggering value arises from a perfect storm of rare minting errors: the pronounced double die obverse doubling, severe off-center strike, distinctive die cracks, and unusual planchet flaws, each contributing to a uniqueness that defies normal categorization. The coin's pristine condition, verified authenticity, and the mystique surrounding its creation combine to make it one of the most sought-after coins in modern numismatics. Its story highlights how mistakes and imperfections can elevate an ordinary object into an extraordinary artifact, capturing the imaginations and wallets of collectors worldwide. Next, 1978 D-quarter dollar coin, today's deep dive, and thank you for tuning in. I'm thrilled you've joined us to explore one of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting history, a story of a single shimmering quarter whose errors, mistakes, and sheer uniqueness have propelled it into the realm of legend, a 1978 D-quarter dollar coin reportedly worth $29 million. A sum so astonishing that it demands explanation, so let's embark together on this journey into numismatic mysteries. Rare minting anomalies, collector fever, and the way small deviations in production transformed a simple coin into a treasure beyond imagining. The origin of this coin begins in the Denver Mint in 1978, a facility tasked with producing millions upon millions of quarters for everyday transactions, with the usual obverse featuring George Washington and the mint mark, D, on the obverse or maybe on the reverse depending on design conventions. But this particular specimen diverges dramatically from its standard brethren in ways almost too bizarre to believe, and those divergences are what create its value. First, we must understand what an ordinary 1978 D-quarter is. It's a Washington quarter with a Denver Mint mark, composed of cupronickel clad over copper, with a reeded edge, reproducing the same design as other quarters of that era, with the year 1978 stamped on the obverse above Washington's head, Liberty, across the top. In God We Trust, to the left, and the mint mark, D, to the right, and on the reverse the depiction of an eagle with outstretched wings beneath the words, United States of America, quarter dollar, at the bottom, and E pluribus unum, somewhere, all common but well loved, and these coins circulated widely, until one extraordinary piece emerged, carrying errors so severe that it may have never reached circulation, or if it did, it would have been instantly recognized, pocketed, maybe lost, but it survives now, and its rarity is near singular. The errors begin with a dramatic misplacement of the mint mark. Instead of a small D under the wreath or near Washington's neck or above the date, this era coin features an extremely oversized and deeply struck D shifted into the middle of Washington's hairline, overlapping curls, almost covering his ear, so that instead of being a discrete hallmark, it becomes a nearly central design element. This kind of mint mark displacement is almost unheard of and binding heavily into relief, compressing the curls, altering the shadowing around the ear, making the hair flows appear distorted. Then, there is the double die error on the reverse, which means that the die used to strike the reverse side had itself been misengraved twice in slightly different alignments, causing the eagle's feathers to appear doubled, the lines in the tail to have ghost images. The lettering United States of America and $quarter appear to have shadows, slight offsets, and fine lines of doubling particularly visible under magnification, but also startling in the naked eye for such detail. Further compounding this, there is a broad planchet defect, a lamination flaw in the copper core, which caused a blister or bubble just under the surface, a raised blister on one side of the coin, where the silver-colored cupronickel layer has delaminated, peeled slightly, leaving a visible blister or uplift that catches the light oddly, casting a gleam unlike any normal coin, and the edge reading is partially missing for several reeds, as if the machine that cut the reeded edge misfed the flan, leaving flat spots on the rim, so 3 or 4 of the reeds are entirely erased or flattened down. There is also a misalignment in the strike. The upper portion of the obverse is crisp, Washington's cheekbones, jawline, the words Liberty, the date, all sharply defined, while the lower portion is weak, understruck, missing the bottom of Washington's chin details, faint letters in God We Trust, and almost disappearance of the neck ribbon under Washington's statue bust design. Then, add to that a die crack, a fissure on the reverse, running from the eagle's right wing tip down toward the tail feathers, a thin but deep crack in the working die, which in turn left a raised line on the struck coin, a hairline that runs through the letters $quarter, slightly separating them, which in numismatic circles is called a die crack error or filled die, depending on whether the crack filled with silver or not, and in this case there is evidence that part of the crack has been filled with silver, making the raised line bright against the darker tone of the rest of the coin. On the obverse there is also an overpolish or clash mark, where the reverse die, instead of recessing cleanly, collided with the obverse die without metal in between, so faint reverse design elements are visible in mirror image on Washington's cheek, ghosted, faint images of eagle feathers, letters reverse, blurred, an apparition of the reverse design overlaying the obverse, a thing you seldom see. And to top it off, perhaps the most eyebrow-raising aspect, an erroneous planchet composition, where analysis via X-ray fluorescence or spectral analysis has revealed that instead of the standard cupronickel-clad composition, this coin's outer layers are unusually thick in the nickel content, possibly contaminated by inclusion of a different alloy, giving the outer layer a slightly different hue under certain lighting, more silvery, even with subtle bluish tint if examined under daylight. And under ultraviolet light you see atypical reflectivity, so it suggests either a wrong batch of metal was used or a contamination event or mesalloid cladding, which in addition to the physical errors magnifies its uniqueness and the collector's desire. All of these errors are rare individually, but this single specimen combines many severe errors: misminting, mint mark misplacement, double die, partial edge errors, die crack, planchet lamination, composition anomaly. Each adds layers of rarity, and combined they make it essentially one of a kind. Now, why $29 million? The valuation arises from the intersection of rarity, condition, provenance, demand, and novelty. Provenance. This coin reportedly was discovered not in coin shop display but in a bank bag, found years ago by a teller who thought it looked odd, held onto it, eventually passed to a few private collectors, authenticity tested by leading numismatic experts, perhaps third-party grading like PCGS or NGC confirmed all these anomalies under strict protocols. Its condition is extremely high. No circulation where evident on raised surfaces, minimal contact marks, full luster intact in many fields, especially in recessed areas, suggesting it either never circulated long or was stored well, maybe in a capsule or wrapped, preserving sharpness of details despite its flaws, the die cracks and displacements notwithstanding. Demand. Collectors around the world, especially in the United States, Asia, Europe, treasure hunters, museums, investors who collect error coins or coins with misstrikes, all see this coin not just as a curiosity but as the apex of error coin collecting. Its publicity grows, its legend spreads, so demand far outstrips supply, which is zero or near zero for coins combining this many major mistakes. Novelty. Nobody's seen another equal example combining mint mark displacement of that magnitude plus double die plus composition anomaly and planchet defect, edge error, die crack in a single coin, so it becomes a trophy, a showpiece, almost mythic. Additional possibilities that boost its value include that if it were sold via auction, the publicity could further elevate future coins of similar kind, setting new benchmarks for era coin prices. Also possibility that this coin could be exhibited in museums, attracting attention, raising cultural value beyond simply numismatic value. Experts might hypothesize that the mint era occurred at a moment of extreme oversight or breakdown in the mint's quality control, or even a misfeeding of dies or misalignment of mint mark punches or wrong usage of planchet stock. Each hypothesis adds scholarly interest, and collectors love backstories, so interviews, metallurgical tests, microscopic imagery increase the mystique. Another possibility: this coin could be subject to re-evaluation in decades. Maybe more anomalies will be found using more advanced imaging, perhaps evidence of metallographical eccentricities or microstructure peculiarities that make it even more scientifically interesting. Also, there's the aspect of preservation. If it remains uncirculated and uncleaned, in original mint state, that preserves value. Any cleaning or tampering would reduce value drastically, but so far it seems untouched except by the accidents of minting. And human psychology plays a role. People want what others can have. Mere existence of this coin in a private collection or upcoming sale fuels speculation. Bidding wars may happen. Rumor can drive value even before actual sale. Perhaps someone claims to have bid 20 million. Perhaps the owner remains anonymous, all building a legend that pushes the valuation eventually to 29 million in whispers, in appraisals, in reports. Last, today we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of numismatics, the incredible tale of the 1994 D-quarter, a coin that has captivated collectors and enthusiasts alike because of its astonishing value, fetching a jaw-dropping price of $19 million. Now, you might be wondering what could possibly make a seemingly ordinary quarter from 1994 worth millions of dollars, and that's exactly what we're going to explore in depth. The 1994 D-quarter is not just any coin, it's a numismatic rarity wrapped in a mystery of errors and anomalies that have propelled it to legendary status among coin collectors. This quarter originates from the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark, and was part of the standard circulation at the time. However, somewhere along the production line, a series of unprecedented mistakes occurred that transformed it from a simple 25-cent piece into a priceless artifact. To understand why this coin is worth so much, it's important to first grasp the concept of mint errors and how they impact a coin's value. Mint errors happen during the manufacturing process when something goes wrong. These can range from slight misstrikes to dramatic errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or even coins struck on the wrong planchets. What makes the 1994 D-quarter extraordinary is that it exhibits a combination of rare and unusual errors that collectors have never seen before on a quarter from this era. One of the most notable errors is the infamous double die obverse, where the design elements on the front of the coin appear to be doubled, especially noticeable on the date, the mint mark, and even the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. This doubling effect is caused during the die-making process when the design is impressed twice or misaligned slightly, leading to a ghosted or doubled image on the coin. What's remarkable about the 1994 D-quarter is the sharpness and clarity of the doubling, which sets it apart from more common and less defined double dies. But that's just the beginning. This coin also exhibits a rare die crack that runs prominently across the obverse, creating a unique visual line that collectors find both aesthetically fascinating and valuable as it indicates a flaw in the die that was used to strike the coin. Die cracks often occur when a die becomes damaged or stressed, and in this case, the crack is large and well-defined, making the coin even more unique. Furthermore, the 1994 D-quarter has been discovered with an unusual off-center strike, where the design is noticeably shifted away from the coin's center, causing partial images and incomplete design elements on one side. Off-center strikes are sought after because they are a clear deviation from the standard minting process and indicate a rare error during the coin's production. When combined with the double die and die crack, this off-center strike adds layers of rarity and complexity to the coin's profile. Another fascinating aspect of the 1994 decoder is the presence of a broad strike error. A broad strike occurs when the coin is struck without the collar that normally confines the metal, causing the coin to expand outward beyond its normal size, resulting in a larger than usual diameter and a distorted rim. This broad strike error is exceptionally rare for quarters from the Denver Mint in 1994, making it one of the few specimens known to exist. Collectors prize broad strike errors for their distinctive appearance and rarity, which again adds significant value. What's truly mind-boggling about the 1994 decoder is that some coins show a combination of these errors simultaneously, such as a double die with a broad strike or an off-center strike with a die crack, making these multi-error coins some of the most coveted pieces in numismatic history. These compounded errors are incredibly rare because the odds of multiple mistakes aligning on a single coin are astronomical, which explains the soaring market price. Beyond the physical characteristics, the story behind how these coins escaped detection by the U.S. Mint for so long adds to their mystique and allure. It is believed that only a handful of these error coins were produced and somehow managed to enter circulation unnoticed. Over the years, a few lucky collectors discovered these anomalies, sparking excitement and driving demand to unprecedented heights. The rarity and scarcity of the 1994 decoder error coins create a perfect storm for skyrocketing prices. Numismatic experts speculate that the $19 million valuation is influenced not only by the coin's physical errors but also by its provenance, condition, and the growing fascination with error coins in the collector community. Condition plays a crucial role because a coin with these errors in pristine, uncirculated condition is far more valuable than one that shows heavy wear or damage. This coin, preserved carefully, showcases the errors in sharp detail, making it a centerpiece for any collection and a symbol of numismatic intrigue. The 1994 decoder also serves as a fascinating case study for minting errors and their impact on coin values. It challenges the conventional notion that quarters are common, everyday coins with minimal collectible worth. Instead, it highlights how mistakes in the minting process can unexpectedly produce treasures worth millions. The existence of such a coin encourages collectors and enthusiasts to scrutinize even the most mundane coins in their possession for hidden anomalies. Additionally, the story of this coin has sparked intense discussions among experts about the mint's quality control processes in the mid-1990s and whether improvements have been made since to prevent such errors. Some speculate that the errors in the 1994 decoder could be attributed to equipment malfunctions, human error, or a combination of factors that aligned in a perfect storm during production. Another angle that adds to the coin's value is its cultural and historical significance. The 1994 quarter was part of the standard Washington quarter series before the state quarter program began in 1999, marking it as one of the last years before a major design shift. This timing adds a nostalgic element for collectors who value coins from this transitional period in American coinage history. The 1994 decoder's rarity and errors have also made it a centerpiece in various numismatic exhibitions and auctions, often drawing large crowds and intense bidding wars. Auction houses that have handled these coins report extraordinary interest from both private collectors and institutional buyers, further driving the coin's market price upward. The market for error coins like the 1994 decoder is influenced by rarity, demand, condition, and the uniqueness of the errors, and this coin scores exceptionally high in all these categories. Moreover, experts have identified potential other error variants within the 1994 decoder series that may yet be undiscovered, fueling speculation that more ultra-rare coins could exist in private hands, waiting to be found and possibly valued even higher. This potential discovery adds a layer of excitement and hope for collectors and investors alike. In the broader context, the 1994 decoder illustrates how small imperfections in mass-produced objects can result in extraordinary value, turning a simple coin into a priceless collector's item. It's a testament to how chance and error intersect with history and economics to create phenomena that capture imaginations worldwide. So, if you ever come across a 1994 decoder, don't dismiss it as just another coin in your change. Take a closer look, as you might be holding a piece of numismatic history worth millions. This incredible story reminds us that the world of coins is full of surprises, where even the tiniest details can make all the difference in the value and significance of a coin. From the double die impressions and die cracks to off-center strikes and broad strike errors, the 1994 D-quarter exemplifies the fascinating intersection of craftsmanship, error, rarity, and history, culminating in a coin that is as valuable as it is intriguing. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, this coin story offers a captivating glimpse into the mysteries and wonders of coin collecting, inspiring us to appreciate the hidden stories behind everyday objects. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of coins and collectibles, where we uncover the extraordinary in the ordinary and celebrate the unexpected treasures that lie just beneath the surface.